Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So the deadline of the application is coming up really soon. I would just like to squeeze in one last video before the application ends. The questions I've received, I notice, are kind of repetitive. Though I've already answered them in the comment section, I figured to just make a video of all the questions that are asked for other people to refer to. So let me just whip out my phone for the questions. When will I know the results? Okay, so for the results to be shortlisted, I'm not too sure, but it varies depending on country and the people who are handling it. But in my case, I received the email that I was shortlisted sometime in February, and to know whether you're selected or not, it was about a week after the interview. On dual nationality, which one should I apply with? So based on the eligibility criteria, you're supposed to apply in the country where it matches your nationality. So for example, I'm Malaysian, so I applied in Malaysia. So if you have dual nationality, say for example, you have a Singaporean and a Thai nationality, but you're studying in Singapore, so you should apply in Singapore. Next one is the difference between the two recommendations letter. For the first one, it's the academic recommendation letter. This academic recommendation letter, it should come from your teacher, your lecturer, your professor, someone who is familiar with your academic track record, your grades, how you behave in class, and things like that. So everything in this academic recommendation letter should be mainly about your academic performance. For the second one is the personal recommendation letter. This recommendation letter can also come from your lecturer, your teachers. It can also come from, like, say, your supervisor at the cafe that you work at, or the advisor from the volunteering program that you went for. So in this recommendation letter, it is talking about you as a person, your values, your behavior, your personality, your attitude. It can talk about your work ethics. So these are the activities that are different from your academic life. I also had some people ask me if it matters if it's handwritten or printed, and guys, really don't fret the small stuff. Recommendation letters, it doesn't matter if it's handwritten or typed as long as it's signed. I cannot believe people even ask me this, but recommendation letters are letters. So all letters should always have like a sender signature, like best regards or yours truly, that kind of stuff. So yes, it needs to be signed. So one person actually asked me what she should write in her essay because she doesn't have a lot of leadership experience. So my advice is to think out of the box, because think of it this way. Being a leader doesn't mean that you have to hold the position of a president of a club. So even if you're like the secretary or the treasurer, maybe you don't even have to think in the context of being in a club or a committee. You can even bring up things like maybe you are the older sibling in your family, you were one of the group leaders in your in-class activity, you could be the senior barista, you could even be a mentor to a freshman. It really doesn't matter. So you think out of the box, how in your experiences or in your daily life you have exerted some leadership qualities. This one is pretty ridiculous. Can you send me your essay? No. I personally do not believe in the sharing of essays, no matter the intention. When will I depart? So when you will depart depends on the intake that you're going for. Global UGRAD has two intakes, fall and spring. So say if you're selected for fall, you will leave around August-ish because the semester starts in September. And if you're selected to go for spring, you will leave sometime in January. Have you experienced this program? Yes, I have. In relation to that question, some of you actually asked me what my experience was like. In summary, it was amazing. It was mind-blowing and life-changing. It was such a great time of my life that until these days, I still reminisce the moments that I was there, and sometimes it still makes me sad, believe it or not. I won't talk about my experience as a whole in this video because I just want to keep things very simple, but I will be making a video about my entire experience, or at least the moments that are memorable to me. But if you're still very impatient, I actually made a video about my experience in the US, like just a very short summary, which I will link in here, so go watch it. So about 2 people asked me about not having any transcripts because they are in their first semester of freshman year. This one I really don't have the answer to it, so I would say to contact the advisor at your local US embassy and ask them how you can go about this. Do I have to deter a semester or extend my studies? So this is very simple. Just think of it as if you're not transferring any of your credits, your semester abroad is just like you taking 1 semester of your university life. And if you did that, do you think you have to extend? Most probably yes, unless you take more subjects per semester than you usually would. So if you decide to do credit transfer, you have to make sure that you take the subjects that are required in your home university in the US university that you're going to. But do check with your home university on the requirements or the criteria that allows you to do the credit transfer, because in my university you need at least like 70% of similarity of syllabus. What are the subjects to take? Is it general or specific? Okay, so because most of you are going to institutions that are on a semester system, one semester you usually only take like 4 subjects, because one subject is about 3 to 4 credit hours, and I would say in one semester you shouldn't take more than like 15 credit hours, because then you'll just be killing yourself trying to ace all those subjects. Unless you're like super smart lah, then I don't think it really matters to you. So because generally it is 4 subjects per semester, here is the composition. So it is 1 US studies, at least 2 subjects that are from your major, and 1 is optional. It can be an elective from your major, it can also be a random elective of your interest. So for the minimum 2 subjects that are related to your major, it can be literally anything that is related to your major. So let me just give you an example of economics, because I study economics and that's the field where I know the subjects the best. So for the major related courses, I can take, say, macroeconomics, microeconomics, behavioral economics, Islamic finance. I can take management papers, I can take international business. So you can see that it doesn't exactly have to be econs all the way. It can also be from the business or the finance area, because that's kind of under economics as well. So literally it's anything related to your major. So in the university that I went to, it doesn't run on a semester system but a quarter system. So it's 3 months instead of like 5 months or 6 months, which is why when my other global UGRADers took like 4 subjects in total, me and my other 2 friends, one from Paraguay and one from Russia, 3 of us had 6 subjects taken in total. Because in each quarter the minimum credit hours that we have to take is 12, so that's like 3 subjects each. Let me just read out the subjects that I took just to give you an idea. So keep in mind that I did not do any credit transfer, and I went there knowing that I didn't want to do any credit transfer. For my first quarter, I took Econ 101, Introduction to Women's Studies, and American Indian Experience. And for my second quarter, I took Introduction to International Economics and Business, Microeconomics 2, and Islamic Civilization. So the reason why I had to take 3 subjects from my major is because instead of a total of 4, I have a total of 6. So my advisor said that I have to take 3 subjects from my major instead of just 2. So that concludes this video. I hope that I've answered most of the questions that are on top of your head. If you have any other questions, feel free to leave them down below in the comment section. So make sure you like this video by giving it a thumbs up, and please subscribe. Until my next video, bye and good luck!